done it just back up his sleeve. I thought this guy's walking around with offensive weapons, man. Once I started to do comedy, and like yourself, you started to do boxing, you think, yeah, this is me, I'll have a bit of this. So the young kids out there, I'll say, never let people put you off. Sometimes you tell friends, yeah, I want to do this, and oh, what are you doing that for? Oh, this and that. But you sit down and check. People's gonna laugh, people's gonna talk, people's gonna say this, there's something.
And what would you say to that? Welcome to another episode of the Dr. Prince Show. And we have a wonderful special guest just for you this week. It's the one and only Slim the Comedian. And we hear all the hoorays and all the noise. What's up, Slim?
How are you, brother?
Wonderful to have you on, my man.
I'm good, my brother.
Seriously,
Thanks for having us down, man.
Thank you for coming on, champ.
Come on, bro.
We just want to sit here and relax and have a good chat.
Just vibes.
And allow the audience, the listeners, to just have a front row seat, man, through your life and see how you come from being a young black boy in South London, at times where you could easily have gone into a different kind of maybe area of life, be influenced like many of the youths, but you ended up becoming a comedian.
I did.
In my personal opinion, one of the best British comedians that we got to offer. And you've been consistent for a long time, bruv.
Yes.
A long time, yeah. I've been going to your shows and crying on your shows and my belly just being hurt on your shows for years now, bruv. I've enjoyed your style of comedy. And obviously, but the people don't know who you are.
Yeah.
They hear you on stage,
That's right.
but who's Slim? So maybe we could start from the beginning. Give us a little bit of background about how Slim started his life as a little baby coming up, bro.
I was born St. Thomas's Hospital.
Cool.
January 1972, to West Indian, Jamaican parents. Older parents as well, because my mum had me at 44.
Just a 3-year gap between us.
Yeah, that's it, man.
I swear I thought it was a bit larger. It's only 3 years.
It's because I've always been skinny and you've always been like that. So I've always looked young because of it. Yeah, it's
or
only
maybe
3
because
years.
when we're younger,
Yeah.
because obviously I've known you from way back, bruv. Yeah, and we'll break that down during the period. But when you're younger and someone's a bit younger than you, it feels like they're way younger.
Way younger, yeah.
When you're like 17, 18, and someone's like 14, 15, you think, they're just a youth to you.
But once you look get to adult, it's not that far.
Nah, it's the same, bro.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. It's only 3 years gap.
As I said, grew up in Brockley. I was born in South London, Brixton, but my mum moved us to Brockley when I was young.
And how far is that from being around Peckham, Brixton, all of that?
Do you know, strange enough, the whole of South London is just one to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because I know both parts, south, east and southwest, equally. You know, because I grew, as I said, I was born in Brixton, but we grew up in Brockley, but I still had family in Brixton.
Yeah.
So I've got family and friends in southwest, and I've got family and friends in southeast. So from Lewisham, Catford, to New Cross, Peckham, to Brixton, Clapham, Streatham, I just grew up in South London, all over the place. So
how much in the family, bro?
Do you know what? My immediate family from the household is small. It's 4 of us from the household, including mum. But yeah, the extended family, it's much, much bigger.
Okay.
Counting how many cousins and that's a different.
Where was you in the family? What number was you?
I'm the youngest out of my generation.
The youngest?
I am. I've got one other younger girl cousin.
Okay.
Which is literally, we're like 2 weeks apart.
That must have been interesting growing up.
Being
the youngest.
It always is.
Tell us some of your experiences growing up being the youngest in the fam.
Being the youngest, you always want to, I don't know if it's not to prove yourself, but you you're just on your own journey, on your own thing. Do you see what I mean? Usually the adult or the oldest child, they got some kind of responsibility. If you think about it, your oldest brother or sister, they always got responsibility. The middle child's always confused and emotional for some reason. So no one can't work.
Go easy,
out.
man. I'm a middle one.
The middle child is always confused or emotional about something. Yeah. So the young one, if you watch young ones, they don't give a shit about anything that's going on. Do you know what I mean? Bailiffs could be at the door. They don't even know who the man is. Do you know what I mean? We don't pay attention to the world's problems. Yeah. We're just on our own little happy journey. And I grew pretty much like that, you know? I was a happy child. I grew up in a happy environment. Mm-hmm. My mum was a Christian lady. So although growing up in South London, which is known to be an Aggie area, as they say sometimes, I still grew up with stable influences due to actually going to church. I will say that. Maybe if I didn't go to church, I'd be in jail right now. Yeah, but I will say, looking back now as an adult, it was a major influence in most probably who I am today. Big. Or how I carry myself, the way I think. So, yeah.
What did it do for you as a youth? What would you say the impact that going to church every week with your parents?
It installs certain things in you, don't it? I mean, your parents do that, but it just builds on when you do that. So you leave the house and you go somewhere else where they've got the same values, principles as maybe what your mum's got. It adds to your development as a child. And I think, looking back on it, I mean, yourself, you went to church.
Yeah, that's how I know you from then.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And it stops us from doing or being certain people.
I know you from then, or did I know you from school?
It's from church.
I knew you from church, and then I used to go to John Loughborough.
You're right, you went to John Loughborough, but by the time you had left, I had joined. Because remember, you lot are a bit older than me. I didn't join.
But the thing is, I never went John Loughborough.
I went, that's what I'm saying. I thought you went to John Loughborough.
No, you thought I went because I used to go past them and visit.
Yeah, because you're from North London. Yeah. And because he was in the church, I thought the whole of you lot just went. Everybody went.
No, I didn't go to John Loughborough.
Because you remember, 3 years in age difference at school, I didn't start John Loughborough until I was third year secondary school, which they call year 9.
That's right, now.
So even then, if you was to have been, you would have left.
Of course.
By the time I'd
That's
gone.
right.
Yeah, it was all right school for education, but they were strict, man. They were strict. You know, John Loughborough was strict. They used to cane you. Mr. Woodford, the headmaster at the time, legendary. This man used to walk with a cane up his sleeve.
For real, bro?
Yeah. He'd walk with a cane up his sleeve, man, and just like a martial artist, it just dropped. He'd have it, and it just dropped, boom, in his hand. What you doing now? Come. Yeah, man, and it's done, and he just back up his sleeve. I thought this guy's walking around with offensive weapons, man. Yeah, easy. So, you've got to respect
that school had a reputation for young black kids coming out doing so well.
Yes.
Like their grades, high, it was up there.
Well, it was a private school, do you remember? You paid your fees.
That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
And the education quality was just, high. It was high.
But they didn't even have the best equipment.
No.
They didn't even have everything. I remember the school.
What they had is a lot of black teachers that didn't take shit.
That's
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there was 2 white teachers in the school.
Really?
So when you're going from maths to PE and everyone's black, especially old school.
Yeah.
There's a certain behavior pattern, you know what I mean? There's certain things expected. And it just goes like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me, it was my second secondary school. I went 3 secondary schools.
Oh, really?
I did.
Well, didn't you finish school at John Loughborough?
No, I went on.
Really, bro?
No, I didn't. Found it too strict, man.
Did you? Are you kidding
I did.
me,
I found
Slim?
it too strict. I couldn't settle in the school, man. You know what it is? I went from...
Why? What was going on that you found too strict, bro?
I went from my first
Is it
secondary...
because you were smart?
No,
being the last child?
and the thing is, it's not down due to sportness. The first school I went was too slack. Yeah, this school is just like a school where it just breeds drug dealers and beer bad people. They really didn't give a shit.
They didn't care about the kids.
It's just comprehensive. You came, you done the lessons, you leave. There was no real... You go then to a private school where they cane you. You remember the school before you could tell a teacher, shut up, shut your mouth, man. Now you've gone to a private school.
Yeah, they're not playing.
You can't even walk with a girl in the playground. Like, link arms or... Yeah. No, we don't do this with young ladies. Like, yeah. Just in case of accusations and all that. Yeah. So it's just like going.
They had a standard about the way that they done what they done.
Yeah, the standard was too hard, man. And then on top of it, they disciplined you physically.
Okay.
You know, so you get the cane. You get the cane or you go home. And a lot of the times you don't want to go home because you get the cane anyways.
So you go home, I might as well in trouble.
Yeah.
You might as well stay in school and get in trouble.
It. You understand?
I feel you.
I took the cane once.
Wait a minute, so what are you saying to your mum when you're getting home? Are you actually telling her this school is strict, mum? What are you saying?
She knew the school was strict.
Yeah, but
I needed it. I'm a boy.
She was paying.
Yeah, she wanted that.
Yeah, so how could you not finish at John Loughborough?
Because, as I said, it was too. The thing, I've never been expelled. But then I think what happens is the relationship between the pupil and the teachers can sometimes break down in a way where you think, well, you and them ain't getting on that great again. Will your education suffer?
Did you have any teachers that you didn't get on with? Because you're a really likeable guy.
Yeah, I am. I'll say two. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to say
you knock heads with them at all?
Or
was you too respectable to do that at the time?
No, I wouldn't knock heads with the teachers, but the same teachers that I had problems with actually had children in the school anyway. And the children were soft, so if the teacher told me off, lunchtime I'm finding his son, innit?
And what would happen?
You rough him up and all that kind of thing. You don't beat them up.
Yeah, of course.
But you make reason to rough them up. You know what I mean? Tell them to come play football or something and just mash them up.
Yeah, I got you.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, them sneaky ones.
Sneaky ways.
As we do when we're youths.
Yeah, man. But I personally, I just found it too strict.
What was the worst thing you done in school, or John Loughborough wasn't that kind of school to be kind of getting away with things?
Do you know what? They were so strict. Little things that you'd get away in a normal secondary school, they'd be on you for. I remember about 2 weeks, I can't remember what I'd done, but I'd done something and they said, right, clean the windows. In like, you know the classrooms, you've got the classroom door, and usually you've got windows you can see into the classroom, innit? Along the corridor, they wanted me to clean the whole corridor, the windows. Stuff like this right there.
That's excellent.
So you're in the classroom and you see a ladder from outside just hit there. Then guess who climbs? Mark, I've got to climb my head.
So what man's in the class?
Yeah.
That is seriously great.
So I did, I found it,
That means they didn't even need, like, that's the cane away. Those are the lessons right there.
Yeah, but the cane...
You just need that mindset to think of other ways of having consequences.
It's true.
Because you probably hated that even more.
I did.
Because kids hate shame.
Kids hate pain. People in general hate pain.
Shame.
That is why they
It's a shame. I'll take the licks more than I'll take the shame. You wants to take shame.
I'm not taking the licks, man. Listen.
So when you're frying the licks,
the cane.
You're like my older brother.
Yeah, the cane. It is like a broom handle. You think it's one of these little...
about cane. I know about licks, bro.
One of these little switch, bendy thing. The something was a solid piece of wood. And girls, they got caned on their hand with a wooden spoon. Boys, you get caned on your bottom with the stick. You don't have to pull your trousers down or nothing, but you get caned on the... And yeah, I remember when I took the cane, man, I was like... He said, I just reached the school. I'd only been in there about a month. 2 months, I got in trouble, said, right, you take the cane or you go home. That's how they do it. And I thought, just reached here, giving mum all them problems from that school. I don't want to, you don't want to.
So you were conscious about.
I was conscious about giving mum problems. So I took the cane. And the thing is, after the first 2 hits, you go numb. When I say your bottom's numb, it is numb. This is a black man, you know, that's beating you. A brother that's had like most probably ackee and saltfish, dumpling, some Guinness before he came to work. So he's at his full maximum strength. And yeah, after the second one, he hit me so hard.
Do you remember what you actually got caned for?
No, but I remember the caning.
You see what I'm saying? So
this is what I'm saying.
You don't even remember
I can't remember what it was.
So how
that
you
I
gonna
done.
improve?
Either licky to the teacher or something. There was something that I got sent, and as I said, after the second one, you go numb. I started to miscount. The second hit jumped me forward by 1 stroke. So I was supposed to get 6 strokes, yeah? So the second one hit, I'm thinking I'm on my 3rd one now, but my bum's numb. So the 4th one, I'm thinking I'm on my 5th one. The 6th one comes, yeah,
so
the
like,
5th one,
it's
over and stand up. And he goes, no. He goes, you have 1 more. And I was like, no, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I didn't even know if when I say I couldn't feel my bottom, you touched it, you couldn't feel it, it was numb.
Do you know what the problem was?
You know what, I remember begging him. I said, oh, please. He said, come. No, he goes, come. Listen, come. Be a man now, come and take. I was vexed. You know, you just have to. And I remember, man, what was going on in my eyes, I thought, man, you couldn't let me off. You couldn't give me that squeeze. And the last one, and let me tell you something. From that, you know, you leave the office, never gonna.
Yeah, but you still got a cane again after that, didn't you?
I didn't. I went home. You give me the letter, rude boy.
No, but did you ever get cane again?
No, I got caned once. After that, remember I told you they give you the choice, cane or home.
Yeah.
Give me the letter, write it up, I bounce now. You're not licking me.
So what was happening? You wasn't getting that level of licks at home.
Who? Listen, usually your mum is not orchestrated, your beatings at home. That's orchestrated. Come in, listen. Number one, my mum had to catch me if she's gonna beat me.
Okay.
You think I'm one of them children, you say, come here now. And you know your mum's gonna hit you. You've got to catch me. I was one of those kids.
So that was a part of the whole process of fear of having to be organised, lead up, bend over, wait for it to come. Okay.
Attack me.
Okay.
So don't orchestrate it, just attack.
So I totally understand that. Because obviously, when you read my book, Prince of Peace, I've broken down what the sessions, the beatdowns were like.
Yeah.
And you get called up.
Yeah.
The fear that it creates.
Yeah.
And for me, I could take school cane. Because that was like, that was minor compared to my dad, a former boxer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dad was in the house. It was mum.
And he's using a skipping rope.
See?
Now, I don't care what you got.
Yeah.
Like, that's not gonna hurt like the skipping rope, bro. You just hear the sound of that whoosh, going through the air. And when that lands, the sound it makes, bro, is unforgettable. And the scar it leaves, bro.
Yeah.
It's taking off skin. No matter what school done to me.
I was lucky because my dad didn't live at home in our house.
Okay.
And as I said, my mum had me quite old. Mm-hmm. So by the time I'm 6, she was 50. By the time I was a teenager, she can't catch me like that.
That's what I'm saying, bro. So you're getting away.
She's out of breath with the 2 strokes. So give it up, Mum. Give it up.
You're getting away as a youth. You're not really used to getting licks like that.
No, not like them proper big man licks. No, I'm used to getting belt, but as I said, how much strokes can a 56-year-old or 58-year-old woman really keep up before she's tired?
Oh, I hear you.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Your dad's young, ex-boxer, he's still got certain health.
He's out
so
running.
Right.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? I didn't know, man.
Okay.
You have to catch me.
Yeah. So, would you remember, because I remember coming into the school, I don't even remember how our relationship first built.
Yeah.
But I just remember, even though you was years younger than me, a few years younger than me, that I really checked for you.
Yeah.
He was a cool guy.
Yeah.
And even from then, Slim, you was kind of had a reputation as a joker.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I've always been just a person, I'd rather make someone laugh than upset them.
Good.
When you meet people, you're talking to humans and that, wouldn't it be better you get a chuckle from them than you and them facing off? I mean, I've just been easy. And again, being the youngest, I tend not to worry about everything. So everything weren't that important.
So
everything weren't that serious. Yeah, for
everything
me to,
was a joke.
Yeah.
And that's what you was in the food chain at school.
Yeah.
You weren't trying to be the tough guy.
Nah.
You was always a joker.
Yeah.
And everyone knew you was that.
Yeah. That's it.
Was you always joking around in class? Would you get in trouble for that?
You would. The way it is, I'm easily distracted. If I remember my school reports right, it's that he gets easily distracted, which we do. Do you know what I mean? We'll do our work, but for the most part, I think entertaining people's more fun, innit? You do your work, right, do your lines and that, and say, hey, Mark, what do you think? What? Go over, then back to your desk. You remember that? The teacher, but that little time where that was great for me. I was more at school for socialising than the lessons, even though I did enjoy school and the curriculum, most of it. It was still the fact of, meeting people and all that.
Engaging the fun. Building relationships. So when did, things start getting where you, as you were getting older and stuff like that, when did the smoking ever come into it? Because a lot of kids start smoking around the back of the heart, stuff like that. Anything start changing for you?
I didn't start smoking till I'd left school.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't start smoking till cigarette when I was about 16, 17. When I started to work,
so wait a minute. Let's keep this real, because my memory serves me. I swear you lot were still going John Lost, but you and Roger Guthrie would come round my yard. I had a flat in Tottenham.
So
you come around my yard. Were you budding then?
No, we weren't budding weed then.
Were you budding then?
No, I tell you when I started to smoke weed when I was 18, turning 9. When I was expecting my first child, I think it's the pressure. So you're going to be a dad. You sit there, what?
And how old was you?
When I turned 18, and I turned a dad.
Okay, and who was around? Break it down about how smoking came into it.
Smoking came into, you know what, it's just obviously getting bigger, you start raving, partying, and you start meeting different folks, innit? You know, people that you got your drinkers, you got your smokers and all that, so it's just the environment I was around. I mean, I lived in what they class the ghetto, innit, back then, South London.
Did you ever think about it like, I want to smoke?
No, there's nothing, something that...
Do you know what I mean? What made you...
It's like a lot of things, what makes you do it, you just slide into the habit. Because I was smoking cigarette is a progression.
Okay, so when did you start smoking cigarettes?
When I was 16, as I left school. When I got my first job, I started to smoke school. Actually, I was gonna leave school because it was the April. You don't leave school till the June, July. But it's the April, Easter holidays. You remember in the last year of school, some people, you don't have to come back until the exams. You remember that? They say, you don't have to come back. In that time, I got a job in Jean City that was on Brixton Road. It was a jean shop, retail and that as salesman.
At 16?
Yeah. And it's then really I started to...
Because you thought he was big man now. You thought that's what you do when you get big.
Do you know what? To tell you the truth, I can't even tell you why I started to smoke. But I've never been someone that says, they do it, so I must do it.
Yeah, because you don't have to.
But you are influenced in some way,
Yeah, environment just has an impact and effect on you.
So it wasn't something that I saw and say, these lot do it and they're cool, so I've got to do it. I've never had that kind of mentality.
Because I never, ever, I used to go around the back of the hut and say to someone, let me have a pull in this cigarette.
Sit there.
And they'll be like, no, Prince, you don't smoke. Move. And I said, no, I started yesterday. Whatever, now take it, dash it on the floor, stub it out, say, stop smoking.
It's not for you.
It's bad for your health. Because I was a fighting boy.
No one didn't want to do nothing.
No one didn't want to bring the smoke. They didn't want that smoke. So they'd leave it, but they were super pissed. And I never understood why they so angry. I didn't get it until I started smoking. I thought, damn, man, I must have really hurt their feelings.
Take it, in front of the floor,
dash on the floor in front of them and crab it out. And you know when you do everything to get that one cigarette. Like you beg for it, You get a 10p. Remember, you could buy one cigarette from the shop, get a single.
Yeah.
And it weren't like now. They used to carry around £10, £20 and all that.
Yeah, that's
carrying
funny.
50p and a pound, and that was big things.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. I don't know if you know the fitness guy, Fitz. So where dyes his hair, kind of blonde.
Yes, I know Fitz. I used to go in his classes.
He does the same thing. Don't let him see you with a box of cigarette at all.
What, even now?
Even now. I don't even take none of his classes. If he
guy.
sees it, he just take it and crush
His
it up.
classes are lethal though, bruv.
Yeah, I know, but
I
he'll
used to
crush
do
it
his
up.
classes after all my training sessions for the day. He'd be like my 4th session before I went home to rest. So
Fitz
I'd
a
go to his
beast.
class about 7, 8 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
And he would slay people.
Yeah.
And he loved picking on me.
Yeah.
Because he
Yeah,
knew
he
he couldn't break me. And whatever he said, more on it, this, I'll be banging it out. Because I know I'm a fighter, innit?
Yeah,
And people
yeah,
know me in the class that I'm a
So you
professional
have to
boxer.
do
So
it.
I have to back it. Do you know what I mean?
More peer pressure.
I'm telling you, big time. So let's we leave school and we come out. So you got your job, you're 16-year-old, and how are you feeling? What's going on as a young person? You got aspirations. What do you want to do, bruv?
Do you know what? When I left school, I said I wanted to be an electrician. I wanted to be a fireman. 2 total different jobs. They're the jobs that I like.
It's
you know
funny
what I mean?
because you don't really know what you want to do sometimes.
You don't. A lot of people don't. But I think back in the day, we were more forced to think about it quicker.
Working, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the 3rd year secondary school, what they class as year 9 now, you choose your subjects, remember?
That's it.
And
Careers,
you chose towards
class, or
right,
career
or
study
whatever.
or
So you
whatever.
say, right, I want to do physics, blah, blah, blah. Maths, English were just standard. You had to take them. But you remember then you picked the other one.
That's it.
I didn't sit down to say, yeah, I'm gonna. As I said, the electrician, because I've always been into
It's funny, we're
fixing,
alike.
gadgets. So I'll pull something
I chose
apart.
electrician as well.
Yeah, electrician. Plus, it's a good trade. You remember, you was encouraged to go into a trade. So electrician or fireman, because if anything, from my being a nipper, I've just always been fascinated with the fire engine.
Okay.
And then the firemen, they always seem cool. Out of any of them, they always seem cool. You know what I mean? I've never looked at the police force like, oh, they're cool.
Yeah, true.
Even ambulance people, they're very helpful.
Yeah.
When they jump out, it's usually they're seeing to somebody injured.
Okay.
But firemen, even if the place on fire, they turn up and jump out. They're just
top to.
Come on, man.
Respected.
Even now, they look, firemen look cool.
course.
So I thought, yeah, I'll do that. But I looked at myself. I looked in the mirror and I thought to myself, if somebody's house was on fire, do you think they'd really want to see me as a person up the ladder saying, come on, jump on, to go back down? Mark, would you feel confident with me being the fireman that's come to rescue you from the second floor? Do you know what I mean?
Did you really think about it?
Yeah, you've got to think things through. My mum always said think things through. There must be slim fire guys out there, and I'll tell you the honest truth, when I was slim, I've always been strong. Physically, I've always been, but I just thought, the view of me don't bring confidence.
Okay, so you didn't feel confident enough that you were wham enough and to be taking on the fireman's job, carrying people down ladders if you have to.
No, especially you got somebody that's a bit chunky or a bit big.
Yeah.
So then that's it, isn't it?
Okay.
Snap the ladder, we're all dead.
So you went with the electrical engineering.
I didn't.
You talked
about
you talked something about your dad making you do certain trade in that, because back in the day, trades were so important for young guys to do. Did your dad encourage you? Because I'm hearing a lot about your mum.
I think
about
a
your
lot
dad's influence.
with my dad was a great guy. He wasn't responsible as a father.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
He was like a youngster himself, even though he's old. So that kind of responsibility, not realising you're not a young man anymore, up and down, Yalis and all that. But as a person, brilliant guy. You know what I mean?
You had a good
funny.
relationship with your dad.
Man, it's funny, everything.
How much like your dad are you, Slim?
Well, the sense of humour and comedy side, I'll get from him. He's just natural.
Okay.
Do you know one of them guys who just saying, he's just being Fitz laughing, he's not trying, he's just being himself. So, Yeah, I think most dads back in the day tried to teach, if they was around, tried to teach their sons something.
How about the
that
negative
they-
sides of him? Him not being so responsible. Him.
The negative sides are, I'm a grown man now, so it doesn't bother me. When I was younger, it didn't bother me neither. I tell you the honest truth, my older brother, I think it more bothered him that dad
Wasn't there.
around and that. But he wouldn't act up in behaviour, just I think it more affected him. Me, I had so much love for my mum, and my mum was such a gorgeous person that it didn't matter my dad weren't in the house. You see him every so often, but it didn't matter to me. You know, some kids might miss or say, oh, you know, I wish my dad, blah, blah. My house was peaceful and thing, and any stupidness, growing up now, him being up and down with women all the time, I'm glad my mum actually broke up from him. That sounds crazy, but they'd broken up from when I was quite young. By the time I was 5, she had said, well, look,
Not
she didn't
necessarily.
realise. Right.
Yeah.
So I think I was better off growing just with my mum in the house. Because if my dad was in the house, he'd have been a player, this and that, in and out. So that caused my mum heartache. There'd have been arguments. There'd have just been a.
Got you.
So I didn't have none of that because she sorted it out. She thought, right, I've got the kids to look after. You're a grown man. Boom, boom, boom.
Because a lot of some mums, they want to make the relationship so much to keep the dad, but it's at the risk of actually injuring the children mentally, emotionally,
And my
stuff
mum
like
weren't
that.
like that. So as I said, it wasn't. It didn't affect me him not being in the house. And as I said, once I got bigger, I thank that he weren't in the house.
Yeah.
Because although, as I say, he's a nice guy. You got people that are really nice people, but they're really terrible with relationships. Do you understand? I think he was one of those kind of guys.
Did you take after him, or did you try to learn from that?
No, I learned from him. So I'm responsible with my kids. And like my brother is as well, we're very much on it. Very much hands-on dads, fathers.
Yeah, because you was a dad from 18, bruv.
Yeah.
So how do you juggle that and trying to find your purpose? You know, that's really hard. You've kind of thrown yourself right in the deep end because you don't even know what you're here and who you are, and you haven't discovered Slim yet.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying? And then you've got this little one. That's a massive responsibility. And then you're a hands-on dad. You ain't trying to be like your dad. You want to be there to bring up your youths. How does all that work out, bro?
Well, for me, you get on with it. A lot of things that happen in our life is not actually planned. So when you do, that's where the term sink or swim, I'm from, innit? Either sink or swim. You swim, man. You've got a child. I mean, I was mature for my age. That's why I was able to have older friends in my life like yourself. You know, if you notice, I had no problem having older friends. You learn from them.
Do you think that's got to do with the time that you grew up and the school and going to understand about the spirituality and, you know, just upbringing the times that you're in?
Yeah, and also being the youngest in the family, you're constantly dealing with people that's older than you. You got to think about it.
Okay.
Your youngest child has to deal with older people, whether it be a sibling or whatever.
Got you.
So turning a dad, you know, trying to find yourself, it didn't throw me. For the first couple of months, you're like, I'm going to be a dad. It dawns on you, I'm going to be a dad, you know.
Frightening.
Right. Yeah, frightening, but more in thought of what's going to happen. And I weren't scared of having a child in the sense of looking after them because, I've got nephews, nieces. So, you know how to bathe a baby.
What was your biggest challenge, Slim?
Consistency. Because anybody can be a parent for a week, 2 weeks. But when you say you've got 15 years minimum each kid before you get some kind of leeway where they've got common sense where you can say, all right, you watch them, but they can take off the stabilizers.
To prepare them for life.
Yeah.
Just being consistent with your part as a dad.
As a dad.
Did you know, because it's very difficult to understand this, did you know that it was going to change you as a person, being a dad, and actually mature you more as a man for life? Did you know that?
Yeah, no, I don't. I do the right things as a dad, but I don't think I'm mature. Do you know what I mean? Mature as a person, but I don't. Yeah, as a dad, I'm a good dad. All the kids love me and all that. But I feel if they're gonna go for like, I mean, all of them can talk to me, but I think if they want real advice, they're going to their mum, man. That's the truth. This guy's a joker. He jokes for a living, man. Yeah. I don't mind though.
Yeah.
I don't mind because I will say, you know, mums are intelligent women.
Yeah. But Slim, you strike me as a very intelligent man.
Yeah.
Your outlook on life is very refreshing. It's very real. It's honest.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's exactly what youths need. And you're forthwith with the truth.
Yeah. Oh, if they, don't get me wrong, if I need to speak, I will talk. You know, in the house, growing up, if I had to say something, I would say. In general, it's their mums that would.
Okay.
Kind of. Don't mean I wouldn't say, listen, son, you've done something wrong. Sit down, let me have a quick word. If I'm going to say something and speak to them, I tried not to turn it into a lecture.
Okay.
Children literally have about 10 minutes worth of listening time before you drown into some other noise in their head. Do you understand? You think about it. Your dad's telling you something. After 10 minutes, Mark, as a child, you kind of get the drift.
Well, I got the drift from my whooping.
Did you?
Yeah, I got
You
the
never
drift
got
from
spoken
the
to?
Nah.
None of them. No, mum or dad didn't once sit down and say,
no,
look.
my mum was a very different kettle of fish.
But dad is
my
ruled
dad
by
didn't waste no time. Even when he took us training, follow me.
That's it.
That was.
Well,
I'm not saying my dad didn't have a chat with you. He did have conversations.
Yeah. But he's a man's man.
But it was like about stuff he liked. So my dad loved women. So he gonna talk to me about pussy. So he told me how to. This is how you deal with the pussy.
Yeah.
You have to whine, you have to go in the corners, and I'm a youth, listen to my dad, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, all right, Dad, I'll remember that when it's my turn. And I actually remembering it when it was my turn, thinking, yeah, that's a this.
This will do that.
so it's kind of bad. But so it wasn't like I didn't have that, my dad didn't talk, but he was such a, here's what I'm saying, do it, that there weren't much leeway for, you didn't feel like coming in and sharing stuff with your dad.
Yes.
Do you understand me?
I think that's what it is.
I want to tell my dad about this.
Yes. And you fall.
Yeah, if I won something, I achieved something, of course you do.
Yeah.
Because you want your dad's approval.
Yeah.
And that's what children want. They want the approval of their parents. Yeah. But when it comes to opening your heart and sharing fears, stuff like that.
Kids do that with mum.
You know, I didn't really have that with my dad. And boys as well. Boys, yeah, they do. They want to open up to mum and talk to them about how they're feeling because they feel like mum will be more understanding.
That's true. I think it is, or mum won't, her reaction won't be as... Women can hide shock, anger, think the right way if the child needs help.
Yeah.
So even if they're horrified by what the child's telling them, a mum won't necessarily show it. Where dad from the, you said what? What? Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah? They over dramatize shit. So, you know, even myself, I mean, if I really needed something to say, I was going to my mum. I wasn't going to dad.
So what was the kind of problems that you had, like growing up with your kids and the difficulties you had as being a dad? What was your struggles? Was it financial? Was it trying to find your purpose while you were being a dad? Was it trying to understand what kind of dad do I want to be like? You know, what was...
I didn't put too much pressures on myself being a father. I think, if anything, is decisions that you do make, as I say, where your kids are concerned, as a father.
Yeah.
You know, you're right, there comes a certain maturity with it. Because you can't just, and I think a lot of kids, they have immature parents now and it rubs off on the child.
Yeah.
The child gets older and disrespects the parents because they think that parents are idiots, basically. I've grown up with you lot arguing and whatever, making bad decisions. So,
because what you've learned,
I just didn't panic being a dad. It sounds so strange.
Really?
It wasn't like, oh my God. And
yeah, of course.
do you know what I mean? I was cool with kids. I've always been cool with kids.
Was it almost like you knew what to do?
I knew what to do. The fear is just making sure you're in work, which there's no lack of work out there at the time. So that wasn't my number one fear. The boys, I think where the boys are concerned, my fear was keeping them away from the badness. You know?
Because we know that's out there, plenty.
Right. And it was trying to keep them away from, you know, gang mentality, gang life, bad man, road man.
Because it was getting more prevalent.
It was.
As you was
and they grew up
getting older.
And they grew up in inner city areas. You know, one of my sons lived up in Shepherd's Bush. Another one was living in Stratton at the time. And yeah, I think that is my biggest fear as a parent, was my boys growing up. Just the violence that's out there, and even though they can look after themselves, you know that your child can look after yourself, don't mean nothing can't happen to them. So that literally was my biggest fear. Everything else I knew in the back of my mind it would be all right, because I know I'm a winner. And although I didn't start comedy till I was 21, so this is like 2-3 years after me having my first child, I still was a worker. It's not like you sit and think, well, how am I going to supply for him? And his mum was a worker. We was young, but both of us were working. We was in jobs. We was actually more mature for our age than we were 17, 18. We were more like 24, 25-year-olds.
I got you.
In what we're dealing with.
In terms of understanding what you need to do.
And all that.
And getting up to do it.
Yeah.
Where you find a lot of young people, they might understand what to do,
Yeah.
but to be able to execute, get up in the morning, I can't stay in bed till this time, I can't be up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning playing around, I've got to go to bed, get some sleep, boom.
The discipline of being a parent.
Yeah, you dealt with that.
I dealt with that. You know, and
when did you begin to feel settled? Like, here's what I do, here's my job, here's my income, here's where I live.
You're never fully settled because you never reach. If you've got a goal and you haven't reached it, you won't be fully settled. And I knew I had bigger things I wanted to do, but at the same time, you've got to balance it with your family life. I always believe in this. There's so much people, you know, on shows I've watched where the father is wealthy, he works hard, the family's got everything, but the kids don't know him. Because he's worked so much hours every day, they only see him for an hour or two and then he's gone again.
What's your working hours like?
Now I make sure I've got time for my kids. Even when me and their mum split up, I made sure all the holidays, any holiday they had, whether it was a week or 6 weeks, you're coming down. It gives the mum a break as well, and it keeps them in. So I don't know if you know, every 6 weeks the kids get a break.
I bust that same move as well.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's free time and they love it. Yeah, and kids love it. So all it is like they had 2 homes.
Yeah.
You know, because I asked them, you comfortable here as a mum? It's like, yeah, what are you talking about?
Nice.
That's your worry, Dad. Of course we're comfortable. Do you see what I mean? So as dads, or as parents, we're always checking ourselves, you know, almost auditing ourselves as parents to see how well we've been doing. But
so what's most important to you as a dad that you wanted to pass on to your kids? You know, what was your thoughts about that?
Happiness and being yourself.
Okay.
I think the two, you're happy who you are and be yourself, you can't go wrong. No, it's nothing worse living a lie or a made up life, because now you've got to spend all this energy keeping it up, perfecting it. And it takes a lot not to be yourself. Think about it. Do you know how much it takes not to be who you are?
Yeah.
That's an act.
Because you can't get caught out, can you?
You can't get caught out, you can't. So that's what I teach my kids, you know, be yourself.
That's so powerful, Slim. You know, that being yourself is an easier life.
Easier.
And now I think people are trying so hard to put up a false picture of how they want to be seen.
The
So much
perception of
effort
them.
being made through, now we've got platforms on the phones with social media and all of that, and people live on that continually and putting this picture out
It's the matrix.
of how they want people to see them, but in reality, that's showing signs that they're suffering with mental health issues, or it opens the door for mental health issues for you to start having, because you're not using that time to find you, to be at peace with you.
You've made something and you're rolling with that. That's the
right.
dangerous, and as you say, we didn't grow with social network sites, so we didn't have that pressure.
That's right.
And don't get me wrong.
It's got good and bad, hasn't it?
It's got good and bad,
Good
like
and
everything.
bad side to it. Yeah, like
but
everything.
social networking sites are more like the Matrix. Call it the Matrix. You've seen the film The Matrix.
Yeah.
Lays down, plugs himself into this thing. That's the internet.
Yeah.
And some people actually prefer living in that world than the real world.
Yeah.
Because in this world, people that follow me and don't live near me or know me properly, they think I'm on this and that.
Yeah.
When really, you're not on half of them things, or some people are on none of those things. It's just a portrayal.
Yeah,
but some people, because they feel in real life, I'm boring, I have nothing to offer. This is how they feel about
This
themselves.
is what creates the mental health issues, bro.
Yeah.
Because when you can't live up to that no more and it comes on top, so much pressure's on you.
Yeah, that's right.
You feel like your whole world's imploded and you just want to scream like help.
Yeah.
And so you keep it in because you can't let people know the truth. You feel like you can't open up about the truth because you're going to be exposing yourself.
You see?
When really, who is that for? Who is that for? Just do you.
You've got to make yourself happy. Number one, you've got to make yourself happy. Being you though, not somebody else.
So let's talk about that, because you were able to be working, you were so responsible, you were, you had your partner that you was with, and you got children, and through this process, you've broken up, you've been able to manage to have a strategy to keep seeing your kids, keep building your relationships because you love your children. And then, but you said something, you said there was stuff that you wanted in life. So let's talk about that, because where that come from, because we said earlier on about purpose, and we were talking about finding that, and obviously we now know it's a journey to find that. School can't. School's a system that teaches you to get out there and work. It's their system. But God doesn't build us like that.
No.
He builds you to be a king. He builds a woman to be a queen. And that authority is over their own life.
That's right.
So they're supposed to govern their purpose, govern their moving forward in life, and achieve the gift that God's put in them.
That's right.
So you said something that made me think about your gift. How did you know you had one, and did you feel like a sense of purpose driving you in a direction that you wanted to become someone, you wanted to achieve something?
You always want to achieve something.
Did you always want to achieve something?
I've always wanted to achieve something, but as you say, you're not sure what it is. Once I started to do comedy, and like yourself, you started to do boxing, you think, this is me, I'll have a bit of this.
Yeah, but I've got a story about how that even came about.
It's never straightforward, our stories.
So what's your story about how that came about? What's the job you were doing, and how did you get into comedy?
I, at the time, was working on the buses. I was a bus driver.
For how many years?
At the time, I was a bus driver for about 3 years. When I, 2-3 years.
Was you happy with driving buses? Did you like driving?
I was happy, but I knew this wouldn't be me. I wouldn't be retiring doing this.
Okay.
There's certain jobs you have, you enjoy it, but you just know that you're not sure how long you're there.
Okay.
You don't think I'm going to be here 10, 15 years.
Okay.
So I got into bus driving, and then the summer of '93, I met Curtis Walker, just by chance, in Brockwell Park. My bigger sister knew him, and friends of friends knew. and I'd been introduced to him, and we got on. We hit on, as you say, we hit off like a house on fire. And he said to me the same summer, he said to me, "Do you want to come to a comedy show? We've got a comedy show in Liverpool." At the time, he was a double act as well. It was Curtis and Ishmael.
I remember that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I went to Liverpool with them. And it was a big, I'd never been to a comedy show.
So he invited you along with him?
Yeah.
But you went with him?
He was performing, and I went with them. He invited me along and they picked me up. It was Brixton. They picked me up and we went up on the motorway. And I was just taken aback watching the show because it was like Felix, Dexter, Leo, Chester, Leo Muhammad, Robbie G, Eddie. It's just like some proper stars there.
Felix, the one from
Absolutely fabulous. Real McCoy.
Real McCoy
as well, yeah. He was in a few stuff.
Classic. I love Dexter, bro.
Just watching them.
I've
never seen black guys do comedy before, and anything we got from comedy was on TV.
Dexter passed.
Dexter did pass, he did, rest his soul.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I was just mesmerised, fascinated.
Really?
You see your mate up there and you're looking around and you're thinking, everybody likes it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever done it when I'm there. You're looking at it and think, wow, my boy's going on, good people.
I've been there.
So it was that kind of vibes. And we hanged around for the summer anyway. And Curtis had a show in the October, November. He had a one-man show. He had split up from Ishmael by then, and he had a one-man show. And he said to me, I went there to go and support, and he just said off the cuff, you should go up and do a little thing. And think, do a little thing. I thought, but I ain't got nothing like that. In my head, I'd been thinking about comedy, but I'd never said it to any of them. But because they thought I was quite humorous, they kept on saying, have you ever tried to do comedy? No, like, he goes, right, I'm gonna put you on after the break. And this is his one-man show. There's like 1,200 people in Hackney Empire. And I'm like, I don't know. I can't even tell you what was going through my head. Because like someone comes and say, yeah, Mark, look, they've got a gap between this boxing match, you're gonna go up. Do you see what I mean? It's just that last minute opportunity, but you don't want an opportunity to be missed. I thought, well, and I think I went up there, I had a drink of brandy, I remember. I went back, I had about 10, 15 minutes before I had to go on.
Was you shook?
Yeah, man, I had 2 shots of brandy, I smoked a bit of spliff back there, and I was ready now. The way I saw it, I had my 2 shots of brandy. Yeah, I had my Dutch courage now.
Yeah.
So I went on stage. I'd done about, I don't know, it must have been about 3 minutes.
Do you remember your piece? Do you remember what you said?
Yeah, it was about meeting your girlfriend's parents for the first time.
Okay.
I mean, times have changed now in the way how the younger ones, but back when we were young, you go in the house and the dad lives there. At some point, you're gonna have to talk to him, your girlfriend's dad, and it's stuff like we'll put on as you say, a fool's persona.
Where did you get that piece from?
Because we lie in it. It's just something that you think of. You get questioned, do you like my daughter and that, and you realise you tell the parents shit they want to hear, but you don't tell them the truth. So it's like, why do you want, why are you going out with my daughter? Or why are you hanging out with my daughter? Or whatever the dad might ask you. We'll always say something, she's this, she's that, and she's very helpful with me and my studies.
Did you write this down? Did you have scripts that
I had thought of it, but I hadn't wrote it down at the time.
Okay, you must have at some point kind of envisioned yourself on stage before making people laugh.
No, until I went on to the comedy show with Curtis, I didn't plan to be a comedian. It's literally something I'd fallen into. Do you remember I told you I wanted to be a fireman? I wanted to be an electrician.
But you're watching Eddie Murphy's, because them time Eddie Murphy's comedy thing was big.
Yeah, Martin Lawrence was big.
Yeah.
Making your friends laugh to professionally doing it, making
levels.
People that don't even know you
laugh.
That's 2 different things. And I was aware of that.
And didn't you have the confidence to feel like I could do that?
No, because you know what? I just like being the humorous
being a
friend.
funny
I never
guy.
thought of, do I make money out of it?
hear
It's a
you.
bit like, we all got some friends that cook wicked. So why you don't open up our restaurant and
Got you.
their mind ain't on it like
Got
that,
you.
do you know what I mean?
Got you.
My
Got
mind
you.
just weren't on it. I was
Got
just
you.
happy that...
I'm just trying to understand like, where you are.
Yeah, I
in
really
here.
fell into comedy by luck. So most probably it was
Interesting.
my destiny, but I just didn't know it at the time.
Wow. So because this is, for young people, a lot of them are struggling to find their purpose.
Yeah.
And I always say, get going. Get
Yeah.
doing something.
Something, yeah.
Because purpose don't come and meet you
No.
in bed.
No.
Purpose don't come and link you while you're just
That's
wasting
right.
all your
That's right.
time, just
gotta
gassing
go out
rubbish
there.
to your brethren.
Yeah.
You know, purpose, you know, it's more likely not gonna link you while you're just sitting down playing games
Doing
all
that.
day.
That's true.
You gotta get out there and start the journey, and then opportunities
Come.
come.
And plus, you will
People
know
meet.
what you like as well. Because some people, as you
Yeah.
say, they ain't figured it out. So
Yeah.
they're not sure, would you like to do
That's
this?
right.
You know,
Try
go out there,
things.
try things, and
Meet
then you'll say,
people.
oh, that's not for me. I didn't realise it was
Yeah.
like, oh, raw. This is right on my street.
Yeah. I love the opportunity, what you said. That's really
I love it.
powerful.
I love it.
Because you got an opportunity and you
I took
said, I have to jump on this opportunity.
Got to. And
You
I was
went about
scared.
to let it go.
I was scared.
Yeah.
You don't understand.
Talk about that. You felt the fear.
You do.
and still done it.
Face your fear.
There were so many young people, they waste on
Yeah.
and grown-ups.
Yeah.
This just
Yeah.
ain't about
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
young,
Yeah.
because we could find our purpose 30s,
Fair.
40s, 50s.
Fair. It is fair.
It's
Sometimes people
allowing
think
it
I
to
won't be
hold
good
us.
enough, or no, maybe I'm just gassing my own self.
That's it.
Do you know that we
That
find
voice.
reasons not to do it?
Yeah, there's that voice in your head always talking to you.
People's gonna laugh, people's gonna talk, people's
That's
gonna
it.
say this. There's something.
And what would you say to that?
Forget that.
Yeah.
You've got to live your life. You've got to. I know it's easier said than done, but if everything that you do is done around what people think, you'll hardly do anything.
You don't do nothing.
And as I said, people end up doing that and not living their full life because they're going to think these people are going to think this of me. So I'll portray this and make all of them happy except for myself.
See, Slim, that's why I always think the graveyard's the richest place on the planet.
It is.
Because it's people have gone to sleep and they've never realized their dreams.
Yeah.
They've never utilized their gifts, never started a business. There's so many businesses and things that were supposed to be invented and records that were supposed to be broken and champions that were supposed to be made and singers that were number ones that we never heard.
we ain't got no
and they're in the
excuses now.
grave, bro.
We ain't got no excuses now, especially the younger generation, because before, for us, it was a way of, well, how do we get into it? And I say, I hear that, Mark, but how do I start? How do I get into it? As you say, the internet is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, bro.
I have no younger,
Negatives, positives.
I have no younger generation, or no one, but especially the younger generation, asks me for anything now. What is this and what's that? And Google it. You got a phone in your hand. Back in the day, for us, the library had to be open, or our mum or dad would have had to buy the encyclopedia pack from the man. You remember the encyclopedia, man? That's how you learn knowledge. Kids don't need none of that now. I can find out right now how to cook salmon. I don't eat salmon. I can find out how the right way to climb a mountain.
I can find out how to start a business plan.
There you go. So don't now with this, well, how? You've got it in your hand is what you use.
That's right.
So instead of being on the social network sites, how about researching some stuff? Throwing some stuff into Google.
There you go.
Let it educate you a bit.
Yep, there's your homework. Beautiful. Come
But
on,
kids
man.
are forever asking you questions, you know. What does this mean? What do you think? Google it. Put in what does blah blah blah.
Make parents' life easy.
Yeah, but Google.
Take us through this journey, man. You first came out, you done this 3-minute thing.
Yeah.
How did you feel afterwards, bro, after making that first step, man?
Bro, it's like the hit you get is like a drug.
Wow,
You know, when
dude.
you say you get to come off and the feeling of any accomplishment that you've done that you've never actually tried before, and it went quite well. You don't have to be the perfect,
That's it.
but you surprised yourself, and that is how I felt coming off, you know, and Curtis was pleased, you know, his manager was there, Bev, and they all were like, wow, you know, and it was like, okay, got a little something there.
So the first time you actually showed some promise.
Yeah.
Because you could fail the first time.
Of course.
You could have had a stinker. You could have just to make the crowd just switch off.
Yeah.
And would that have meant that you were no good, Slim, if that happened?
No, it wouldn't. All it is, you know, it just means try harder. Yeah. If you really want it, you'll get it.
You'll get it.
If you really, really feel you want something, there's some people some boxers that's gone through, and they're maybe not being the greatest boxer.
Started off their career rubbish, losing.
But they really wanted it.
And end up being champions.
Even if it's for a short term, they still achieve a goal.
I respect them man so highly. I got a bag of respect for man like Johnny Nelson. And,
come on, bro.
And there was this other guy that Naz just violated from Wales.
Steve Robinson.
Steve Robinson.
I was watching that.
Violated him,
Christmas,
but I respected Steve so highly. The work he put in to come from, you know, losses, you know, where people ain't thinking you're the man, but he worked hard for what he had. Worked hard. Johnny Nelson worked hard. It's that work hard ethic. You know, you have to respect the man the highest, because people talk about talent so much. Oh, he's got so much talent. He's so gifted. But what is that, bruv? If you don't have work ethic,
you've got to put it in.
Man, I know.
You've got to put it
talented. Superstar they could have been.
Ballers,
didn't have
especially.
The work ethic, bro.
How much ballers from back in the day?
Didn't have the mindset.
There's youths now that can be ballers, but unless the attitude change.
So what was it for you? Because that's not an easy industry to become successful in.
No.
And I rate you as a successful comedian. You've shown it. You've been on stage with Lenny Henry, the top people, and you can let us know what your career's been like. But, you know, tell us a little bit about that journey so people who are aspiring comedians, people who are aspiring to be successful in any area can understand that process, bruv. You know, what do you have to go through?
The journey's up and down. You bet, like anything. You're not going to be given any goal that you've got just like that, without ups, downs, emotions. It's the same thing. I think once in the whole of my comedy career, you feel a point and you think, chuck, you know what I mean? Fuck 'em, I'm not doing this no more. Because you feel that you look around, you see what's on TV, and you in your heart know you've got this kind of level of talent, or even more. And you just can't, sometimes, frustration of not getting through to the setting, to the point where you feel, well, fuck 'em.
Is it like, where's my break?
But then, what's the worth of going through? You always look back at what you've gone through and you think, you're going to give up and you've already gone so far. Plus you love it. Plus you know, one thing you can't ever stifle is somebody's talent. They've got the right work ethic. The talent will shine through. And sooner or later, you won't be able to ignore that. You can ignore hype, because hype is usually only for a set time. The latest hype about this, and then there's the next hype. Longevity, and that it stays around a bit longer. My career's just been wicked. I've done things the way I wanted to do. Could I have been on TV before? Yeah, I could have gone to America, LA in 2006 and stayed there. I went, but I could have actually stayed there. They wanted me to actually move over. And I couldn't, because I wasn't prepared to leave my son. Because one of them was still young. It's a strange story, because I started to support like American comics. The first American comic I supported was John Witherspoon.
Let's have some more.
John Witherspoon is, for those that don't know, is Pops from Friday, the dad.
Yes.
And he came over it. So from then, I then went on to support Bill Bellamy, who is again, a film you'll know him from is How to Be a Player.
Yeah, I remember Bill Bellamy.
Right. I went back with him. He took me back to America. With them. He asked. He said, you got some good stuff. He said, hey, you want to come back to LA? And you think like it's just an empty jest. About a week later, I was on a flight to LA.
Wow.
That they don't knock about, do you know what I mean? So I
You
went
sorted
out
all
there.
that out.
Between my manager and Bill and all that, they done all that. I just literally had to
Just
get
got on the
plane.
plane.
Loved it. I went out there for 2 weeks. I'd done several shows, including the Comedy Store, Laugh Factory. These are like big name brand clubs in LA, Hollywood.
Yeah, I've been there.
Comedy Union.
Yeah.
And I came back and I was on a high because I had done these gigs and they really liked the gigs. The people appreciated it.
Went down well.
Went down really
sometimes
well.
they don't get English.
Do you know what? Funny's funny. English humour, I think, what they don't get is sarcasm. We've got different types of humour, and they don't think they get the sarcasm side. But just telling jokes and you're talking experiences, everybody's got kids.
That's it.
Doesn't matter if you're American or British, we've got kids.
That's right.
Kids do the same thing. So all it is finding a common ground between us.
Yeah.
Speaking slower, because that's what will lose them.
Okay.
If I stand there and start talking like this really fast like that, I'd lose them. After a while they say, what did he say? That's too fast. Your ears is tuned for me talking like this because you live here. But to American, that's just like, no. So what I do, you slow your roll a bit, some breaks. Basically you do a British Barack Obama to them. You talk with a kind of gap every so often. Stop, pause, and continue. And it breaks. And they love it because they love the accent.
That's it.
So they loved all the stuff with the bus driving. They loved all. Yeah, they loved it.
Chris.
Came back. I thought I'm going. I was the first black British comic to do the Hollywood Comedy Store. I didn't realise till I reached it. They said we've never had a black British dude. And we got 3 floors, all operating with different comedy shows, and the main managers from each floor came up when they heard I was on stage. And you got like staff coming up because they had never seen a black British with my accent on stage. I was just like unique to them. So I had to make sure I done well, and I done well until the top floor is the smallest, then the middle floor is the second largest, and then the largest floor is the ground floor, the main room. This is where Richard Platt, Eddie Murphy, all these go to the main room. And over the course of me staying there, the first night I done the top room, then the guy in the middle section said, does he want to come and do the middle room? I said, yeah, I'll do that. And the guy from downstairs saw me in the middle room and said, do you want to come and do the main room?
Chris.
So,
you done the floors, baby.
I done the floors. Came back, I was excited, pumped up. And I remember I collected my boy and we was on the tube. I was excited about LA. They was asking me about it. And I was explaining to him, I said, you know what? I've got a chance to go, blah, blah, this and that, and Dad's gonna. And he slowly fell quiet. I didn't think nothing of it. I was reading my paper on the tube. He's sitting next to me. And I noticed he's quite a talkative youth. So I turned to him and it's like, you all right? And his head was dipped and he lifted up his head. And if you see the tears that was down his face.
Wow.
And I said, what's wrong? You're gonna leave me. And he was that upset that I was gonna leave England, leave him and go to America for work. And I ain't gonna lie, that kind of like broke my heart, man. And in my head, I just thought, it was a immediate decision. I just thought, I can't leave him till he gets big. Because my other kids had already grown with me. He was the youngest. So everybody else got that grow up with that kind of thing. This is the youngest. I'd have left him. He's 21 now, but at the time I'd have left him, he'd have been 8.
Wow,
8 years old.
Got you.
And I realised kids don't care about money, about fame, about who you are.
Boom.
They want love and time from you.
That's right.
So I kind of put LA on a back burner.
Talk the truth, man.
Do you know what I mean? I had to. I said, right, I'll just keep doing my thing here and build myself up here, which I've done, you know, and I've kept up to date, relevant. He got big, and then, strange enough, when I was ready to go again, my dad reached an age where he needed looking after.
Wow.
So I told you, he had me quite old, so now he's in his late 80s, early 90s, no wife, no nothing. I've had to look after him. Again, it wasn't a big problem because I was able to work and I had a little support network that would help me if I was gigging saying, out of London, Birmingham, whatever, someone would come and
watch Dad.
But on the whole, yeah, for 8 years I looked after him while doing. So there's a lot of things that I kind of wouldn't take on or go for because I knew it wouldn't work. You putting myself in that position because I wouldn't be able to juggle that in the family life. But I was still earning money on the comedy circuit.
Yeah.
I was still staying relevant, and I was still collecting fans. So I didn't feel, although I feel I could be bigger, I was still there.
That's correct.
I wasn't going backwards.
Okay.
So it was enough for me to hold on. My dad passed away sadly, 93, at the age of 93, he passed away in 2016. You know? And from then I realised, fully free. I looked after my parents, all my kids are grown now. I can naturally, fully, and understand, just push myself.
I just want to just highlight that point you made because it just hit me wow. Other dads are going through the same thing as well because I had that opportunity to go to America and have my career over there.
You weren't leaving the kids?
And it was hard for me, bro.
Yeah.
I remember one time when I just was going away for 6 weeks and I was saying bye to my kids. That was really emotional for me. I ended up crying, driving in my car, driving away, just crying. And that was me going away for 6 weeks. So imagine if I'm going away to live in America.
That's right, would have done. At least a couple of years you're going to be there.
Yeah, and it was like, I was going to build my career up over there with Victor Valley and my trainer, Carly, over here. And it was like, nah. And I was still doing really well here. I was prospect of the year. I was coming up.
That's right,
I was unbeaten.
Was you talking 97? You got the fight in 97, didn't you?
Yeah.
Sky Sports fight in 97.
Yeah, 95, 96, 97. By the time it was 97, 98, I was looking at fighting for the world title and stuff, you know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah, so I really get it. You know, you make sacrifices for your children.
Yeah. People say, well, you could have gone, if you'd gone, you'd be rich now, you'd have made money. The fact is you've missed out on a chunk of life.
That you
can't get back. You cannot get that back. So it doesn't matter what you say. There's parents now that regret not being there all the time. I've watched stars that say it. You know, is there regret? I didn't spend enough time with the kids.
That's it.
I was always away working. Sometimes the kids are strangers to their own parent because of that, their own, dad or mum, depending on what they do. So, as I said, because of how I was grew, watching my mum by herself and my dad not being responsible, it's a no-brainer that I'm gonna do better than this.
But that was great that your dad, who you didn't grow up with in the house, is not well, but you're looking after your dad when he's ill.
Do you know what? He wasn't a bad person. Do you know why? As I said, he was a lovely person. Everybody liked him.
But whether he's lovely or not,
but the response that wouldn't do that.
Not going out of their way, especially when they've got a career in something
to
like
look
yourself,
after.
To say, well, let me work around looking after my dad.
So,
for me, that says a lot about an individual.
And I didn't even think it's just something you're doing.
Is that what I'm saying? You're just being you. Do you remember we talked about just being yourself? You're just being yourself. You didn't think, oh, I'm doing this and I look like this. No, you're just being slim.
Yeah, that's it. Well, most people didn't know until I done a set on stage about it. No, this is way down the line. I've been looking after him about 7 years or 6 years by then. I've done a set. But it was material. I tell people certain aspects of my life I think will find funny. So it was and a lot of people like it because a lot of people are carers. So I had carers, people that care for their relatives that come up after and say, Jesus, I thought I was the only one. I'm so glad to know because it's hard, especially old people. It's hard to change them, their habits.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
What were some of your challenges being looking after your dad? It's something you'd never done before.
But he's diabetes, to try and get him to help himself to regulate the sugar intake, and that was so hard. You're gonna get older one day. Your daughter, your son's gonna, no, Dad, you can't do that. Dad, you can't go out by yourself like that no more. You ain't steady on your foot. you're gonna hate the day your children tell you, because then you feel like the kid. What do you mean I can't go out? I can't. I say to dad, you can't.
Twice a child.
Yeah. And they hate that, so they tend to be what we say disobedient and do their own thing.
Yeah, because they resist that change of cycle in life, didn't they?
Yeah, because now where they used to tell you not to do something, it's the shoe on the other foot. And I do think most of them struggle with it. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
His diabetes was hard. He had type 2, so he took tablets. He didn't have to take the injection, but he had to take tablets every day. He still had 3 teaspoons of sugar in his tea.
Really?
He used Nestle's milk to whiten the tea as well. Not even Coronation milk, Nestle's.
Mercy, man.
So he's already got 3 teaspoons of sugar in. Then he's going to use sugar milk.
Oh my gosh, man.
While taking diabetes medication.
How was you dealing with all of that?
It would send him doolally. It really would. When I say doolally, they then act strange and do things that Gabriel always just fell asleep anywhere, or... There was one time I thought he had lost his marbles. I come in the house and my man's cleaning the stove. But I'm looking on him and he's got the sponge, but it ain't wet and he ain't put no soap on it. The dry sponge, just in a circle, like he's in a trance. And I remember I said to him, Dad, and he turned around, he fucking frightened me. I should have punched him. He turned around and he was like this. Oh. So it's like, what the fuck has happened to my dad? Oh, Jesus Christ. I phoned the doctors, they said, bring him down. And what it was his meds. Is it the slow turning, like it? Or what's the one, Let's Play a Game, that film. It's a turning of the head and the teeth just, I thought, what the fuck, has he gone mad? So I called the doctors and apparently the medication and the sugar, mixing diabetes medication with sugar, it messed him up. He'd always do it.
So would he do things when you left? Would he go and do stuff that he shouldn't be doing when you were in the house?
That guy would go out onto the estate and he'd call any little kid. I'd hide sugar or stop buying it. At one point I stopped buying it. He'd just come outside and call one of the kids. Hey, come in. And they come over, because it's granddad's age, innit? All kids will ride over on the bike. And they said, do me a favour, run guy shop and buy me some sugar. And give them the change. And they still do it. They still do it.
Of course.
So I'm like...
You probably have to put a notice up for all the people in the estate.
This man, I tried to substitute the sugar with honey. This brother take the honey and literally decorate the flat with it. Remember, they don't. When you undo honey, all right, you take a teaspoon. Remember, it's got the long dribble piece of it. My man would just decorate the whole kitchen with it. When you go in there, the kitchen's sticky, ants, and just all. And then mice started coming. I ain't gonna lie, we started getting mice because the way how he's, remember how much you clean it, you drop food that in.
Yeah.
So to the mice, his bedroom was literally Tesco's. They go in there to shop, you understand?
Oh my God.
So he was a nightmare. I ended up getting a cat. I mean, it's these things, man, it was a nightmare. When he goes to the toilet, instead of getting up for a long time, he'll be on the phone, wait for the last minute. Then he's telling them, "Oi, lan, and get up." This man pull his hood and be walking through the house with his piss is running out. And see, basically, you've got to muck behind him. Oh, he was, Jesus. Wow. Everybody come to the house for it's hilarious, but when you live with it,
that's right.
It could get, it drive you nuts.
Oh my gosh, man.
My man's going from one room to the next. I'll be in the front room watching, come out the front room, go his bedroom, going to the toilet, putting his hand, piss trickling, talking about, hold on, Herbie. Hold on, Herbie. Hold on, you hold on. Hold on to your hood tighter than that. You know what I mean? This guy, he would literally kill you. He would.
Your dad's funny, bro.
He was a funny character.
Oh my God.
You'd think that it's just old age, but he was like that from I can remember, man. Dad was just one of those. I realised my dad weren't a normal person. It's one of these characters that just have you killing yourself with
93,
laughter.
bro.
90, yeah, he done 1922 he was born.
93.
1922 he was born. He was
That's a
93
good
when he done.
innings, man.
Lovely innings.
You were blessed, man.
Lovely innings.
Yeah, you're even more blessed to have that time with him.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
how long did you look after him for? 8 years?
8 years. But I mean, we always was like, had a relationship.
That's it.
But as I said, he was an up and down kind of guy.
Yeah.
A man that's quite a ladies' man, they're usually up and down on the road. They don't spend as much time
just
with the kids.
Sitting,
But when I was around him, I felt loved. And he weren't a dad. Some parents, some people I've spoken to that didn't have a dad living with them, the dad would turn up or they'd discipline them because the mum's sedating, behaving. So the man just come, they don't really know him, and he'd come and slap them or tell them off. And I didn't get none of that. My dad actually left my mum properly disciplined, didn't even try to discipline us. My dad never once hit us.
Wow.
Didn't have to.
Because you just got on, you was able to just talk and...
Yeah, he was...
What would he say to you when your mum was complaining about your behaviour and you had to go to another school, stuff like that?
No, he wouldn't, my mum wouldn't even bother him with that.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? The way she see it, he lives with me. So I'll deal with it. Obviously, if she needed to, I'm not saying that she wouldn't, but mum was very much, a lot of mums back in the day was wait until your father gets home. So the dad deals with it.
But you didn't have that.
No, I didn't have that.
So how did your mum and dad feel about your success?
Before both of them gone, but before that, both of them knew that I was doing good because mum would say, "Oh, me see a flyer or a poster in Peckham, me see a poster with you on it." So mum knew I was doing all right.
How that made you feel?
You. Yeah, man, come on now.
Yeah, man.
Strange enough, I think we live to please mums, not parents, you know. Mums. Because you want to please your dad to a certain point.
Yeah.
But whatever, you know what I mean? It's mum. This lady here now.
Yeah.
She's the one you want her to laugh at your jokes. You know, when you're little, say, I've got a part in the school play. Your mum says, go on then, sing the part. Dad's not business about that. No, that's good. Come out and do it on the TV. Mums, so it's mums you really want to impress. But my dad, you know, he knows doing it. And they'd hear feedback from people that knew them as well. Say, oh, I see Danny on this or Danny on that. And so yeah, they was...
Oh, Slim, man. Seriously.
They were good with me with it, I can't say.
That's been so funny. So what would you share with, what would you say, because I don't want to wrap this up without you giving a chance to talk about like who you've been on platforms with, what comedians that really impacted you, that you kind of like really respected and learnt from.
Curtis number one. I've got to say,
No doubt.
He'll be fed up when me calling his name, but I've got to give credit where credit's due.
Nice.
Because if it wasn't for him, even mentioning going on stage, I can't say in the future, but I just didn't have no comedy in my head.
I hear you.
So he's actually, changed my life with a couple sentences, and then obviously get given the opportunity. You get the opportunity, you got to shine in the opportunity, but it's getting the opportunity that I appreciate.
So it's very powerful that people give other people an opportunity.
You've got to do that, bro.
Yeah,
we
deserves
build each other. Do you know? There's people out there that could actually put in a word for someone and won't do it. And I find that's strange. Cause big businesses and proper business grows on that, pulling one each other up. I'll give you an instance, music. Back in the day you had Dr. Dre come out. Dr. Dre signed a rapper. That rapper then signs another rapper. Rapper signs another rapper. So you get them all coming up. Do you understand? Dre signed Eminem. Eminem signed G Unit. What's his name?
I know.
My man then brings in
50 pence.
50 pence. He brings in Tony Ayo. You remember him bringing in Tony Ayo? And then Eminem's brought in. And so they draw the man up. And all of them are successful financially and
no doubt. So you never know what you're going to be doing for someone to create the next.
You've called me on your podcast.
The next
Yeah, I mean?
leader. Yeah, that's because you're a top don, bruv, and you've been making me laugh for years. And there's something else that we cannot miss out. Since what's happened to my son, and I've developed this organisation where we go out and reach youths. Your heart is always big, bruv. You just open. You're just like, Prince, whenever you need me, just give me a shout. I'm on board. I was so excited about, just asking you to be an ambassador for the Kind Prince Foundation.
I told you it's a no-brainer.
Do you know
I
what I'm
remember saying, bro,
Yeah.
that's a no-brainer.
But what was even better was like you coming on board and actually going with me to see how the programs are run, to get involved in the programs.
Yeah, it was an honour
to open, your life up to the youths, to share with them about your journey, as a young man, and just giving them some knowledge and advice.
And they appreciated it.
Talk to you, King.
They really appreciated it.
And it was such an example of why I set up the organisation, because you don't need Hollywood degrees and all of that. I'm not saying these things aren't important. I'm saying you need the right heart, right mindset, and the passion for someone else's life to want to share your story. And that's what you're all about. You're all about the people. You're all about giving and just contributing, bruv. And that's a massive part, contribution, bruv. And that's what you do in our community. You contribute. It's not only my thing. Yeah. I know about you doing lots of other things for many other people. So, for me, I want to use this platform to herald Slim, the comedian, as someone that should be up there, right up there, bruv. Mo, he's got his own program, Big Nasty. Bruv, what about Slim's, the comedian's own program?
Definitely coming.
Because, bruv, that is going to be beautiful, man.
Definitely
to see you there. It's deserved. You've worked hard, you've stayed committed, and we share that likeness because I won't give up.
No, it's been a long road, man.
You know what I'm saying?
It's only when you stop to look back down the road, but a lot of time we don't stop actually to look back. Sometimes when people say, do you remember you've done this, and you've done that, and you think, oh yeah, there's gigs that I forgot that I've done. People come up and say, do you remember when you done that thing? Oh yeah, I forgot all about that.
That's right.
Because I've done so many, and usually once you finish one, it's on to the next one.
What's one that you remember?
Great thing. It's gonna be John Witherspoon's one. I mean, I remember all of them. Bill Bellamy, Kevin Hart.
Yeah. What's one that you remember?
The reason why, I'll tell you why John Witherspoon's was important to me. About 2 years before I met him, I was doing a comedy show at the American Comics. You remember they used to bring comics over, and I remember saying to an American comic, I think her name was Mugger at the time. I'd done my set and that. I came backstage. I said, what do you think? I really want to go America. What do you think? Oh, no, y'all don't think now. They won't understand. Y'all talk too fast. Just like dismissive. Straight up, right. That's what I thought in my heart. I'm like, wow. She's like, no, they won't. And I thought, wow. So when John Witherspoon came and I came off stage, he personally pulled me to the one side and he says, you got some original stuff there, son. He goes, you ever thought about going to the States? And again, I said, well, yeah, but my girl had put me off, so I said no. He says, you should try and get out there. You got some original stuff and you're funny. I remember how long ago he said this, because me and him's got a son the same age.
Two different opinions.
Two different opinions, and one from somebody that hadn't, maybe on the black circuit in America she was known, but she'd never done TV, mainstream or nothing like that. This is a mainstream man coming to say to me, try and go to America.
We don't know what people's feelings really are behind their words.
That's right. That's correct. Because since then, Bill Bellamy asked me, and he brought me over. Do you understand? Another big star. Eddie Griffin.
Yeah.
Is another big star that I sat down and he's given me some gems.
How many dreams have been burst because we've listened to people and not knowing where their feelings have come from, where the words are born from.
That's right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
It could be born from seeing your great success,
That's
from
right.
seeing your future that you can't even see.
Yeah.
Because there's some people that hate on you because they see your greatness and you don't even see it yet.
Yeah.
But they see it.
I see what you mean.
And they try to out it.
Because I see that with certain of the younger ones, and I look at some of them and I think, big man, you could be massive if you want this. Your vibes, your blah blah. There's a young comic out there, Junior Booker. I think if he does things the right way, he can be a massive comic.
This is a guy that you've seen recently coming up.
Yeah, he's been coming up for the last 4 years, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5, under 5 years.
Okay.
But his vibes, his demeanour, you've got your likability as well. But it ain't worth being a comic if you're not liked.
I hear you.
In some way. But yeah, there's comics out there that I think of the same way. You look at them and you think,
Yeah,
and you know, everybody that's come to me and given me their advice, they've done it.
Yeah.
It's not like they ain't done it.
Okay.
You'll find the ones that try to put you off are the ones that ain't done it. And usually that's most probably out of jealousy or the fact
That's
well, I
correct.
couldn't get there, so.
Yeah. Or even your failures, you try to put that on other people.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of people actually do that. Oh, you ain't going to be able to do that. Why? Because you couldn't
That's
do
it.
it. Do you see what I mean?
That's right.
So the young kids out there, I'll say, never let people put you off. Sometimes you tell friends, yeah, I want to do this, and oh, what are you doing that for? Oh, this and that. You sit down and check. Could they do it? Do you understand?
Yeah.
When he says he's going to be a boxer, man, blah, blah, blah. You realise he weren't much of a fighter. My man was better with a paintbrush. Do you see what I'm saying to you? You can't let somebody that don't have your vision put you off what you want to do. That's how I see it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And that's what you done, Slim. Once you grabbed it and you took your opportunity, you began to see a vision moving forward and you never look back.
And you can see the possibilities. Deep
Yeah.
down before you fought for a world champion.
Yeah.
You knew this guy here is going to outbe me and him, but he's going to just walk through me. Do you see what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
There's other people who know they're beaten. You see certain Mike Tyson opponents. Before they got in the ring, they knew they was beaten.
Yeah. I swear you used to come to my early fights.
I did used to come. I come to your early fights. I come to the one Hammersmith Odeon, the Apollo.
Hammersmith Apollo. I
Remember that one
I
there?
saw got you walking up to the ringside
Yeah.
as the last round was coming in, and it looked like I was stopping him. And you see you walking up to the ringside, like, come on.
We had
boss him
some,
up.
yeah, man.
We had some great
I
times.
love
innit?
watching you fight, bro.
Yeah.
He's a beast. I
Yeah.
did. You and Cham.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, my man Cham.
Yeah, Cham's the last one
Yeah,
that
the Wild
I've
African.
seen. Wild African. His
Cham,
last
Cham.
fight was in Elephant and Castle. The swimming baths is no longer there.
Yeah,
Remember
yeah,
those?
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
He had that there, and I remember he got cut. I went in to go and
That's
see him, and they're stitching him up. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
later.
knowing it. Stitching up ain't the one, bruv.
Yeah, big man. She did. The woman didn't numb it, nothing.
Bruv, stitching up ain't the one.
Bro.
I had this doctor who was smelling of alcohol come in my dressing room that got stitching up. I just won the WBO Intercontinental title
Yeah.
from Morris Coy,
Yeah.
And he said, yeah. So I said, so you're gonna do the injection to numb it? No, we don't seem to have any of that in the.
And the way they see
the
you're
bag.
fighting, man. So you take the pain. That's how it
told me
is.
to hold on to the chair, hold on to the handle of the chair, you know, bite on something.
You should have made him pour some whiskey if you was drinking into, you know, the old school style where they pour
I
liquor.
prefer Morris's thumps that he give me in my face, bruv, than
That
the
hurt,
stitches,
innit?
bruv.
I could
seriously.
see, because you're tough, Cham's tough, but when I was
Bruv,
doing up his
I
face, I
sweat,
was
my
like,
sweat came out of me instantly.
Where's
As soon as the needle went into my face, so I was dripping even more. My teeth was on. I crushed off my trainer's hand.
yeah, that was
crazy.
that was the day, man. That was
Bruv, man,
the day.
I've had a great time with you, man.
As always, come on,
Seriously,
Marcus.
I've had a
Come
great time
on,
with
Mark.
you, man.
We're
Come
here,
on.
bro. You've always been a lifelong
Yeah.
friend, family. You always will be, bro.
Excellent, my man.
Thank you very much for
I
inviting
wish
me
you
on.
nothing
It's
but
been
the
a
best
pleasure.
in the future. This is Slim, the comedian. It's been an absolute honour to have him on the Dr. Prince show. And we look forward to you tuning in again on the next episode. We out. Bless King.
Bro,
Easy.
you see how quick that went?